If you're planning your family's 2026 World Cup trip right now, you're probably looking at gorgeous hotels in downtown Boston. You're budgeting for food, planning out historic walking tours, and assuming you'll just hop on a quick 20-minute subway ride to the games. But if you hit book on that downtown hotel right now, you're walking into one of the biggest mistakes traveling to Boston World Cup matches. The reality that most generic travel guides don't tell you is that the Boston World Cup matches aren't actually in Boston. They're being hosted at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, which is a heavily wooded suburban town nearly 30 miles south of the city centre. If you're an international fan or visiting from out of state, you might assume you can just rent a car or grab an Uber on match day like you would in most global cities. But during a recent international test match, the local infrastructure completely collapsed. Major highways turned into parking lots, navigation apps routed thousands of desperate drivers into quiet residential neighborhoods, and families found themselves trapped in Route 1 traffic gridlock for up to 8 hours, with some entirely missing the kickoff. To prevent a total collapse of the highway during the tournament, the state is heavily pushing for a dedicated stadium commuter train. But before you breathe a sigh of relief and assume your transportation problem is solved, you need to know that this train comes with a massive catch that is blowing up family travel budgets. Welcome to the Itinerant Traveler. If you're navigating the complex New England World Cup logistics for your family, you're in the right place. We specialize in helping meticulous planners travel without the anxiety. Today, we're breaking down the exact Boston World Cup travel trap you need to avoid and giving you the ultimate lodging matrix to save your trip. The $80 train trap. If you're wondering how to get to Gillette Stadium from Boston, the official solution is the MBTA commuter rail. But the Boston to Foxborough train cost is causing absolute sticker shock for fans who thought they had their budgets locked in. The Transit Authority has instituted a special World Cup fare of $80 per passenger for a round-trip ticket. If you're traveling with a family of 4, that's $320 just to commute to a single match. And unlike regular commuter trains, children 11 and under do not ride for free. They require full-price tickets. But the price isn't even the highest hidden cost of Boston World Cup travel, it's the digital friction. You cannot simply walk up to a kiosk at South Station and buy a paper ticket with cash or a credit card. This train is available exclusively through a proprietary mobile app called the mTicket app. And here's the catch that's going to trip up thousands of international fans. The app requires you to digitally verify a same-day match ticket, using the exact same email address just to purchase your train fare. If you're dealing with international data roaming limits, or you wait until match day to download the app at a crowded transit hub, you could be completely stranded. This is the $80 Boston World Cup train explained simply. It's a rigid, unforgiving system. Your ticket ties you to strict regimented boarding groups, groups A through E, that will entirely dictate your Boston itinerary for the next day. If you miss your assigned boarding group, you don't get to just hop on the next train. If this breakdown's already saving your World Cup 2026 Boston trip, make sure to hit subscribe. We have a lot more coverage coming, including the best things to do in Boston, Massachusetts on your non-match days. The Providence loophole that fails. Now, once fans realize how expensive and restrictive this train is, they immediately start looking for a loophole. And if you look at a map, the most obvious travel hack is to abandon Massachusetts entirely and look at Providence, Rhode Island hotels. When you compare Boston versus Providence hotels for the World Cup 2026, the savings look incredible, and Providence is actually physically closer to the stadium than Boston is. Naturally, you might be asking, is Providence cheaper than Boston for World Cup travel? On paper, yes, but here's the brutal reality of your Foxborough Stadium transport. The Transit Authority does not operate a single direct special event train from Providence to the stadium. If you book a cheaper room in Rhode Island, you cannot just tap an app and ride the rails to the game. Your commute will require navigating a complex web of standard commuter trains and shuttle bus transfers, which will add hours to your day. You're trading financial cost for massive logistical anxiety. And if you think you can just fly into the area to avoid the train altogether, the commute from the Boston airport to Gillette Stadium on match day will leave you sitting in the exact same traffic as everyone else. So, if driving from the city's a nightmare, the Boston train costs a fortune and Providence leaves you without a direct train, what is the actual solution? And why shouldn't you stay in Boston for Gillette Stadium unless you have a rock-solid plan? The lodging matrix that actually works. Before you make any final decisions on where to stay in Boston for World Cup 2026, here's the exact lodging matrix you need to use to protect your trip and your wallet. Option 1. If your priority is experiencing the official World Cup 2026 fan zones in Boston, soaking in the FIFA World Cup 2026 Boston atmosphere, and crossing off your what to do in downtown Boston list, then stay in the city. But you must download the Transit app today, budget for the $80 train tax per person, and secure your boarding group the absolute minute the World Cup 2026 Boston schedule is finalized. You're paying for the vibe, but you have to accept the strict commute. Option 2. If your priority is zero commute anxiety and you want to be right in the action for the World Cup 2026 Boston Games, look for the best hotels near Gillette Stadium 2026 right in Foxborough or Patriot Place. You will pay a massive premium for these rooms and be isolated from downtown cultural events and historical sites. However, you can literally walk to the World Cup 2026 Stadium's Boston gates on match day and completely bypass the $80 train and the highway traffic. Option 3. If your priority is strictly saving money on hotel rooms and flights, book your stay in Providence. But the absolute second you book that room, you must immediately reserve a seat on a third-party private motor coach or an organized shuttle service. Do not wait until the World Cup 2026 Boston game dates get closer, because those private buses will sell out long before the tournament begins. So, is staying in Boston a massive mistake? It absolutely is, if you expect a cheap 20-minute subway ride to the Boston Stadium World Cup 2026 matches. But if you budget for the transit tax and lock in your logistics early, you can get through the commute without breaking the bank. Now that you have your World Cup 2026 USA housing strategy locked down, you need to know what to see in Boston when you aren't at the stadium. Subscribe for more videos about Boston in the future. Until next time, safe and happy travels.